Hello everyone, this video goes through the story of God of War, Thor and Ragnarok. Many years have passed since Kratos, Spartan warrior and former Greek god of war, took his vengeance against the Greek gods, and he now lives with his young son Atreus in ancient Norway in a realm of Midgard. After the death of the Jotun warrior Freya, Kratos' second wife and Atreus' mother, Kratos and Atreus prepare a funeral pyre for her, mourning her death. As Freya's last request was for her ashes to be spread at the highest peak of 9 realms, Kratos plans to climb the mountain to fulfill her wish. Before he sets out, he and Atreus go on a hunt. They encounter Troll during the hunt, whom they fight together and defeat eventually. However, much to Kratos' disappointment, Atreus proved his incompetence and lack of focus, making Kratos reconsider taking him in a journey. When they return to their home, a mysterious stranger visits them. Kratos lets Atreus hiding under the floor while himself greets the stranger. The stranger repeatedly irritates Kratos first, and then attacks him with godlike power. When Kratos punches him with his superior strength, the stranger continues the fight, as if he feels nothing physically. After seemingly killing him at last, Kratos reluctantly takes Atreus with him and begins their journey. Kratos and Atreus soon encounter many hurdles in their journey and fend them off. Some of them are undead, transformed from dead human, though Kratos doesn't know how this can happen. They also meet the dwarven Hodger brothers, Brock and Sindri, who have forged Kratos' axe for his wife. After learning of her death, they provide to upgrade weaponry for Kratos and his son. After Kratos helps the Witch of the Woods save a bro which Atreus accidentally hurt, the witch tells them that the gods in this realm will not treat them kindly, as she senses Kratos is a god from other realm. Then she uses her spell to help them venture out of the forest. They find a boat and continue into the Lake of Nine. Beside a statue in the middle of the lake, Kratos throws his weapon into the water as being instructed on the statue. A giant serpent rises from the bottom and the water lowers, revealing the structures below. The world serpent Jormungandr appears friendly to Kratos and Atreus before moving away immediately. After running into impenetrable black mist, which can only be extinguished with the light of Alfheim, they receive aid again from the witch to use the Bifrost in order to travel to Alfheim. The Alfheim is overwhelmed by Dark Elves, who are slaughtering Light Elves. Kratos defeats a bunch of them before securing the light. The Dark Elf King Svartalfur attacks and tries to stop him, but is killed by Kratos. He warns that Kratos has made a grave mistake. Upon vanquishing the mist, Kratos and his son step into an abandoned mine inside the mountain, where they are ambushed by Hraeslar, the ancient dragon. Kratos stabs the dragon with a shattered crystal, which explodes on the lightning power in the dragon's mouth, killing it eventually. Having reached Midgard's peak, Kratos and Atreus find the stranger who attacked them is alive, and has 2 henchmen, the sons of Thor, Magni and Modi, at his side, interrogating the imprisoned man about the things of Kratos. The imprisoned man is Mimir, the smartest man in 9 realms. After the stranger and his men leave, Kratos and Atreus confront Mimir, who reveals the stranger to be Baldur, an Aesir and son of Odin, who is the paranoid Allfather and king of Asgard. Mimir also reveals that the highest peak of all 9 realms is not Midgard's peak, but actually in Jotunheim, and access there has been blocked off by Odin and Thor. He, however, knows of another passage. He instructs Kratos to cut off his head and take it to the Witch of Woods. Kratos and his son do as he requests, and the witch revives Mimir's head using some old magic. Mimir reveals that the witch is the Vanir goddess, Freya, which makes Kratos immediately distrust her, but both Freya and Mimir warn him to tell his son about his true nature as a god, which Kratos keeps a secret from his son. Mimir leads Kratos and Atreus to the middle of the lake, using the horn there to awaken the Water Serpent, from which they learn that they must carve a travel rune into the gate of Jotunheim, the realm of giants, to reach there. In order to do that, they need a magical chisel of the dead giant Tamur. Kratos uses Thor's hammer to break the ice beneath giant Tamur, and before he is about to reach the magic chisel, he and his son are blocked by Magni. Kratos orders Atreus to stay aside, while Modi appears and busts his son. The father and son have a tough fight with the brothers, and they eventually kill Magni, letting Modi flee. They head for Tyr's vault, where they intend to find the travel rune to Jotunheim. But Modi appears again, ambushing them and trying to kill Kratos. During the battle, Atreus collapses due to an illness. Kratos quickly fends off Modi and then takes Atreus to Freya, who instructs him to retrieve the heart of the bridge keeper in Helheim to save his son. She also informs him that his Leviathan axe will be useless towards the undead there, so Kratos returns home to unearth his old weapon, the Blaze of Chaos, and then ventures into Helheim. The bridge keeper isn't a Kratos match, and after retrieving his heart, Kratos delivers it to Freya, who makes his son cured. Kratos tells Atreus that he is a god, and his illness is caused by a curse. Then the father and the son continue their adventure along. They retrieve the Black Rune from Tyr's vault, and meet Modi again on their way back to Jotunheim Gate. Modi is severely beaten by his father, Thor, for the death of Magni. Atreus kills him for his insult on his mother, despite his father's orders to spare him. At Midgard's peak, they carve the rune into the gate to Jotunheim, but before they set their foot towards there, Baldur shows up, attacking Kratos and irritating Atreus at the same time. Atreus foolishly picks a fight with him, but is injured and caught by Baldur, who then proceeds to destroy the gate and runs away with Atreus. Kratos follows them to an armed dragon and then the travel room of 9 realms, where he accidentally triggers the portal to Helheim and throws Baldur, Atreus and himself there. When the father and the son reunite and try to escape from Helheim, they discover that Baldur is Freya's son. Desperate to protect him, Freya had cast a spell on Baldur that makes him immune to all physical and magical threats, but also unable to feel any joys of life, which makes Baldur resent his mother. Before they leave Helheim, Mimir helps Kratos learn about another way to access Jotunheim from a relic panel. Tyr has a key plan. Returning to Midgard, Kratos shows the key plan to Brock, who forges this key with his brother Sindri. Then Kratos accesses Tyr's hidden temple, where he unlocks the bridge to Jotunheim from the travel room of 9 realms. Before they set out, they go inside the Water Serpent's belly to recover Mimir's missing eye, which will be helpful to them in Jotunheim. They are spitted out by Water Serpent as it is attacked by someone when Kratos and his son are inside. The attacker turns out to be Baldur again, whose true target is Kratos and Atreus. Kratos and his son soon engage into the battle, but Freya intervenes in an attempt to protect her son. During the fight, Baldur is pierced by Astra's mistletoe arrow, breaking Freya's spell, which makes him vulnerable again. After an enormous battle, Baldur is defeated. Despite being given an opportunity to retreat, he attempts to strangle Freya, forcing Kratos to kill him. A grieving Freya swears revenge and tells Kratos about hiding his true nature. Kratos finally tells Atreus about his past, and how he had killed his fellow Greek gods, including his father Zeus. Freya leaves with Baldur's corpse in silence. After finally arriving in Jotunheim, they found a temple with a mural depicting their adventures, showing the giants had foreseen everything that would happen and vaguely foretold the future. Their fight with Baldur was shown in the mural, revealing he was after Freya the whole time, unaware she was deceased. In fact, Freya was a giant who decided to stay behind in Midgard, making Atreus part giant god and mortal. Kratos and Atreus then fulfill their promise and spread her ashes at a peak, overlooking a valley of giants' corpses. Kratos tells Atreus that when he was little, he was given another name by his mother, Loki. As Fimbulwinter near its end, Kratos and Atreus return home from a hunting trip, fending off an ambush from a vengeful Freya, only to find out wolf Fenrir in his final moments. After Fenrir dies, Atreus' grief transforms him into a bear through his uncontrolled giant magic, briefly battling his father before coming back to his senses. Shortly after, Thor arrives at their home and is joined by Odin, who proposes to leave Kratos' family alone if Atreus abandons his secret search for Tyr, who has been imprisoned for his giving up his role of god of war. Kratos refuses and duels Thor to a stalemate, but Odin tells Atreus he will leave Kratos alone if the former comes to Asgard. With the aid of the Hoder brothers, Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir take refuge in Sindri's home on the branches of the world tree Yggdrasil, in a realm between realms. Atreus admits that he and Sindri have been secretly re-examining giant shrines scattered throughout Midgard, searching for clues about Tyr's whereabouts. Determining Tyr is alive and imprisoned in Svartalfheim, Kratos reluctantly agrees to help Atreus, if only to prevent Ragnarok, a moment where prophecy says many gods will die, and they travel to Svartalfheim, where they rescue the traumatized Tyr. The group then head to Alfheim, visiting Grar's shrine to better understand prophecy concerning Ragnarok. Fighting against both the elves and Tyr's newfound pacifism, they learn of an alternative prophecy to Ragnarok, one in which only Asgard is destroyed, but all other realms survive under a new champion, implied to be Atreus using his alternative giant name of Loki. Returning home, Kratos and Atreus have a falling out over the later supposed destiny. That night, Atreus awakens in Jotunheim with the giantess Agbodda, who shows him a mirror that seemingly foretells Kratos' death in Ragnarok, and Atreus joining Odin. Atreus also learns that the giants transfer their souls into spiritual stones to evade Odin's wrath. After helping stop Agbodda's grandmother, Grilla, from stealing animal souls, Atreus is entrusted with the remaining spiritual stones, using one to put a giant soul into the body of a snake. Atreus returns to Midgard, where Kratos angrily informs him he has been missing for 2 days, but they are again attacked by Freya with her Valkyrie powers restored. However, Freya relents when Kratos shields her from Atreus and agrees to spare Kratos if he helps her break the curse binding her to Midgard. Taking the form of a falcon to circumvent Odin's spell, Freya travels with Kratos and Mimir to Vanaheim, where her estranged brother Freya leads a resistance against Odin. As they travel, Kratos opens up to Freya about the death of his first family in Greece and emptiness of revenge. After killing Nidhogg and breaking the curse, Freya admits that she can neither forgive Kratos for killing her son nor kill him in return, and the two make amends. Back at the Hoder refuge, Kratos and Atreus have another argument regarding his recent deceitful behavior, ending in Atreus fleeing to Asgard to find a way to prevent his father's death. Atreus has a hostile encounter with Heimdall, the Norse god of foresight, but is saved by Thor and Odin, the latter requesting his help in preventing Ragnarok by reassembling an ancient mask that can supposedly look into the rift between worlds and grant infinite knowledge. Meanwhile, seeking to reclaim Atreus, Kratos has Freya and Mimir lead him to the Norns, who say that Heimdall is destined to kill Atreus. In response, Kratos and Brok forge the Draupnir ring into the powerful Draupnir spear, capable of bypassing Heimdall's foresight and harming him. While searching for mask pieces in Helheim with Thor's daughter Thrud, Atreus accidentally releases the giant wolf god, who begins tearing holes in the realms, allowing Hell workers to wreak havoc. Atreus reunites with Kratos as both attempt to stop Garm. During the fight, Atreus realizes he accidentally bound Fenrir's soul into his knife when Wolf died, and resurrects Fenrir by infusing his soul into Gon. Now reconciled, Kratos and Atreus return to the refuge, where Atreus shares his knowledge of Odin's mask with the rest of the group, but the discussion is tabled when they learn that Freya was captured by the Aesir. Kratos, Atreus, Mimir, and Freya return to Vanaheim to rescue Freya, during which Kratos is forced to kill Heimdall and claims his magical horn, the Jala horn, inevitably setting Ragnarok in motion. While Freya recovers, Kratos reluctantly allows Atreus to infiltrate Asgard and finish reassembling the mask in order to steal it from Odin. Though Thor nearly kills him, Atreus is successful and escapes back to the refuge. Atreus gives the mask to Tyr, who suddenly agrees to fight and reveals he knows of a secret way to Asgard. Brock, suspicious of Tyr's sudden change of heart, suddenly realizes Tyr is calling Atreus lucky, prompting Tyr to fatally stab Brock, revealing he had been Odin in disguise the whole time. The group drive Odin away and retrieve the mask, but a grief-stricken Sindri blames Atreus for Brock's death and abandons the group to mourn. Atreus and Kratos commit to Ragnarok, entering Muspelheim to help the fire giant Surtur achieve a destined primordial form that will destroy Asgard. Under Kratos' leadership, the united forces of the other realms gather at Tyr's temple in Midgard. Kratos sounds the Jala horn and begins the siege of Asgard. Initially, the battle does not go well. The other realms are quickly cut off. The elves and Vanir struggle with Asgard's defenses. Sindri comes along so that no more dwarves will die, and the army is forced to rescue innocent Midgardian refugees from the uncontrollable Surtur. However, the tide turns when Angerboda arrives with Fenrir and a snake Atreus previously saved, now fully grown into Jormungandr, the world serpent, who occupies Thor while Sindri destroys Asgard war machines and a protective wall. Thrud and her mother Sif then defect after discovering Odin used the refugees as living shields. Thor knocks Jormungandr back in time and engages Kratos in battle once again. But he is convinced to stand down, only to be killed by Odin for disobeying. Odin then engages Kratos, Atreus, Freya and Mimir, and the group overpower and defeat him. Atreus shatters the mask and traps the unrepentant Odin's soul in a spiritual stone, but a vengeful Sindri smashes it to kill the All-Father. As Surtur destroys Asgard, Freya sacrifices himself to ensure everyone escapes through a rift made by Angerboda and Fenrir. After the siege, Atreus reunites with Angerboda in Midgard, who shows him and Kratos a mirror his mother Freya had deliberately destroyed so that they could determine their own fate. Atreus resolves to join Angerboda in her quest to find more giants and bids a heartfelt farewell to his father. Looking further into the shrine, Kratos discovers a mural depicting him as the new All-Father of the Nine Realms, beloved by others. Finally hopeful about his future, Kratos recruits Freya and Mimir to help rebuild and restore peace.